Black Mirror. Black Mirror is a British series created by Charlie Brooker. It's an anthology, meaning each episode tells a different story, but they all feel similar: dark, disturbing, and uncomfortably close to our real world. It shows a future that looks shiny on the outside, but is actually quite scary. In this world, technology controls everything. People are always being watched. Algorithms decide your social status, your job, and even whether you live or die. In one episode, everyone rates each other, like giving stars to a ride-app driver. Imagine getting 1 star just for sneezing loudly. In another, people have memory implants that let them replay every single thing they've ever seen or heard, which sounds cool until it ruins their lives. There's no giant war or zombie outbreak. The horror comes from seeing how human nature, like vanity, cruelty, and sadness, gets worse when mixed with powerful tech. People fear losing control over their lives. They're terrified of being trapped in their memories, canceled by social media, or replaced by digital copies of themselves. Every day of life in Black Mirror is stressful. Everyone acts fake to keep up their ratings, and no one feels safe from hidden cameras. The scariest part? These futures aren't far away. They feel like something that could happen any day if the wrong app or device takes over. That's what makes Black Mirror so chilling. Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, also called Shingeki no Kyojin, is a dark fantasy anime and manga by Hajime Isayama. It's set in a world where giant man-eating titans have almost wiped out humanity. The few people left live behind 3 huge walls: Maria, Rose, and Sina, like scared kids hiding under a blanket, hoping the monsters outside won't peek in. Life inside these walls isn't peaceful either. People live in constant fear, stuck in military routines and survival plans. Titans don't think twice before munching on humans like snacks. Wars never stop, and the truth about the world is even worse. Corruption, genocide, and memories that have been messed with. There's danger everywhere. On one side, you've got towering titans and sneaky titan shifters who blend in as humans. On the other hand, there are betrayals, lies, and tough moral choices that never end. Sure, some people survive, but at the cost of their sanity and innocence. The darkest moment is when Eren Yeager decides to set off the rumbling. He wakes up all those giant titans sleeping inside the walls and sends them stomping out to wipe out everyone beyond. In Attack on Titan, even victory feels empty. People may survive, but they're left carrying deep trauma, knowing that in this world, hope and humanity are the first things to be eaten alive. The Last of Us. The Last of Us immerses us in a grim post-apocalyptic world created by Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, based on the popular video game. Everything goes downhill when a mutated fungus called Ophiocordyceps infects humans, turning them into creepy zombie-like creatures. There are runners who chase you, clickers with freaky mushroom faces, and bloaters that look like moldy giants you'd never want to meet in a dark hallway. The world itself is falling apart. Cities are covered in weeds and dust. Fedra's strict military rule runs quarantine zones, and random groups fight each other for whatever little food or supplies are left. Fedra controls everything: food, curfews, even your last crumb of dignity. But it's not just the infected that make life scary. It's seeing how people lose their morals just to stay alive. Every day, survivors have to worry about getting infected, starving, being robbed, or worse. No one sleeps peacefully here, unless you count clickers who sleep standing up, which is still horrifying. The darkest moment comes early on, when Joel's daughter Sarah is shot while the world collapses around them. Later, Joel lies to Ellie to protect her, breaking her trust, and just when you think it can't get worse. In Season 2, Abby kills Joel out of revenge, crushing whatever hope they had left. Gotham, the Batman universe. Gotham is the gloomy city at the heart of Batman's world. Created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, it's shown as a dark, crime-filled place in comics, movies, and shows. It's not the end of the world, but it sure feels like it sometimes. Huge skyscrapers cast shadows everywhere. Rats run around like they own the streets, and politicians and cops are so corrupt that even the rats look honest in comparison. What makes Gotham so scary isn't just the villains, it's the city itself. Crime isn't some random problem here. It's how the city works. You've got the Riddler going on killing sprees, the secret court of owls pulling strings behind the scenes, and Arkham Asylum releasing crazies like it's a theme park with no safety checks. People fear not just the villains but also the system itself, including broken justice, shady media, and heroes who sometimes cross the line themselves. Daily life in Gotham means always watching your back. You avoid muggers, dodgy buildings ready to collapse, and the next villains escape. Survival takes planning, weird alliances, and a healthy dose of paranoia. The darkest moment comes in the No Man's Land arc when a huge earthquake hits. The US government abandons Gotham, gangs take over, babies are used in terrorist plots, and the Joker roams free as ever. The Walking Dead universe. The Walking Dead universe, created by Robert Kirkman and turned into a long-running AMC series, shows a world where everything has gone downhill fast. Zombies, called walkers, have taken over, and society is basically gone. Cities are filled with rotting corpses, empty houses, and rusted cars that no one's driven in years. Small groups of survivors hide out in broken buildings, trying not to become walker snacks. But the scariest part is not merely about the zombies. It's what humans become when there are no rules left. People do horrible things to survive. Cannibalism, betrayal, killing kids, and taking over groups like dictators. In the Terminus arc, desperate survivors lure other people in, lock them up, and butcher them to eat. Dinner time definitely took a dark turn there. Surviving in this world means living in fear every single day. Fear of getting bitten, starving, or running into strangers who might be worse than walkers. People make weapons out of anything, smear zombie guts on themselves to blend in, and trust no one unless they absolutely have to. In The Walking Dead, zombies are scary, but it's the humans you really have to watch out for. After all, walkers just want to eat you. People want to destroy everything you are. The Boys. The Boys is a dark superhero show created by Eric Kripke, based on comics by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. It's set in a twisted world where superheroes, or supes, are treated like celebrities and controlled by a giant company called Vault International. At first it feels like a fun parody of superhero movies, but then you realize these heroes are absolute nightmares. Sure, the cities look shiny and perfect, but behind the scenes it's all corruption, abuse, and cover-ups. Homelander, their version of Superman, is basically a smiling psycho with laser eyes who can do whatever he wants. He controls the news, politics, and everyone's fear levels like it's his personal video game. The scary part is how these supes manipulate people. They create fake news, turn tragedies into ads, and act like they're saving the world while destroying it behind the scenes. Ordinary people in this world just try to survive without getting noticed. Imagine walking past Homelander and hoping he's having a good day so he doesn't fry you alive. Most folks don't even realize they're living under constant danger. The darkest moment? Homelander murders multiple children at Congress just to prove no one can stop him. It wasn't just evil, it was his twisted way of saying, "I'm the boss here." In The Boys, superheroes aren't your friendly neighborhood saviors. They're your worst corporate nightmare with a cape and a PR team. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, and adapted by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, is an epic fantasy drama, full of medieval violence and twisted morals. It's a world of crumbling castles, endless political games, and the constant fear of winter, which isn't just cold. It comes with zombie ice monsters wanting to end everything. What makes it terrifying isn't just the White Walkers, it's people themselves. The Seven Kingdoms are always at war. Betrayal is basically a hobby here. There's murder, backstabbing, sexual violence, and leaders who will ruin thousands of lives just to sit on an uncomfortable metal chair called the Iron Throne. Daily life is rough. Peasants freeze or starve while lords argue about their next battle. Trust is rare, armor is essential, and having a sword nearby is just smart planning. To survive, you need to be brutal, clever, or lucky, preferably all three. And everyone's terrified of two things: being betrayed by someone they love or the arrival of the long night, where winter and death team up for ultimate misery. The darkest moment is the Red Wedding. Imagine attending a wedding feast, enjoying your meal, then suddenly everyone around you is getting murdered under the banner of friendship. It broke all the rules of honor and safety. In Game of Thrones, there's only one lesson. If you think you're safe, you're probably next on the chopping block. Dune universe. In Dune, created by Frank Herbert, humanity lives thousands of years in the future under a giant interstellar empire. It's basically space feudalism, with powerful families fighting over Arrakis, a desert planet that looks like the world's biggest sandbox but way deadlier. Why? Because it's the only place to get spice melange, a magical cinnamon dust that lets people travel through space and live longer. No wonder everyone's obsessed with it. Arrakis itself is brutal. It's just endless sand dunes, a blazing sun ready to roast you alive, and massive sandworms lurking beneath the ground. These worms are so huge, they could swallow a whole mining rig like it's a breath mint. The native Fremen survive by wearing still suits that recycle every drop of water from sweat breath, and other stuff. Yep, desert life is glamorous like that. What's truly scary isn't just the worms or dehydration, it's the politics. Everyone's plotting assassinations, betrayals, and wars just to control the spice. For the Fremen, daily life means riding sandworms like giant roller coasters, hiding in desert caves, and gearing up for holy war. For workers, it's just trying not to get eaten or dry up like old fruit. The darkest moment comes when Paul Muad'Dib takes over Arrakis and starts a massive galaxy-wide jihad. Billions die in his name, proving that absolute power doesn't bring peace, it just crushes everyone beneath it. But believe it or not, there are villains even worse than him. Check out Fiction's most manipulative villains explained in just 13 minutes.